is on EA Sports, and we are in Silicon Valley at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Miami Dolphins and the San Francisco 49ers. Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Santa Clara. Returning from his end zone is Ray McCloud. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
Let's go now.
Taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
First play of the drive, a first down run. Well, that sets you up for whichever way you want to go. Do you come right back and run the football again because you've got them on their heels? Or do you play chess match with them, break tendency, and go play action and go for the big shot?
And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Lance on target to Samuel for a Niner first.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss.
Watch out now. 50 Fury. Black shot. Set.
Throwing now is Lance. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Melvin Ingram. Dropping the hammer off the edge. Now after the sack, Lance and the Niners staring up here at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Got his target, Samuel. The 20. Touchdown, 49ers. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You have a lot to handle in this one.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. A short kick taken at the 18. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. To end the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They'll start out here with a jet sweep.
That was a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. That's out to the flat for Edmonds. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Ready, set. Steal. Set, steal.
They'll run for the first time with Raheem Mostert and give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw here taken in by Gesicki. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Tua now on 1st down. He's got a man, complete. Touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 42 yards. And the Dolphins are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. They said that they wanted to get him involved early, and what a way to cap their opening drive, Charles. We know he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, and he showcased it on that play.
And when you have a guy like that, you want to make sure the defense sees him early, right? You want to see how they're going to adjust, how they're going to try and guard him, because they can't replicate his speed in practice unless they've got one of the few guys who are as fast as he is. And all it took was one drive. He burned them, and I don't think it's the last time they call his number in this one.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Taken in at the 3. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. And he is going to lose yardage here. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, then maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Lance. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think a guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a entire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
Meanwhile, Lance's throw pulled in by Kittle. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Oh, he'll look downfield for Kittle, and that is incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Ready.
Lance and company going on fourth down. And able to haul it in is Kittle. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That one good for 17 yards on fourth. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. First down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw, it's Lance. And this is caught. Touchdown 49ers. George Kittle, 34 yards. And the Niners have moved out in front.
For good reason, quarterbacks wanted to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Gold with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. Fielded right around the 8. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Tua setting up shop to throw again. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. Now Tua. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Ambry Thomas. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. I tell you what, credit is due there on them preventing the touchdown after that interception.
How about him chasing him down and not giving up the pick 6? Because what happens a lot of the time is when you see the interception, you just kind of hang your head a little bit and you momentarily pause because you're frustrated. He shook that off and gave great chase and got it done.
Still a great return and very good field position. Lance now on 1st down. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. Another try after the 1st down sack. Lance. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, he's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness, It's been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would...
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers. Mason Crosby of the Packers has it teed up, and off we go from Lambeau. Here comes Jalen Waddle from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19. Probably should have opted for the touchback.
Take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
On the set.
Now the first carry for Chase Edmonds. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. First carry for Raheem Mostert. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Here's Tua. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And into the end zone. It's a pick-6 and a Packer touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. Waddle will return this from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll start on the ground with Edmonds. And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left them no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
Tackle made by Devondre Campbell. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's a toss play right to Mostert. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and run here with Mostert. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring out 4th down. They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game, and the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. On 1st down, Rodgers. And Watson has it right side. He's got room at the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Now it's Rodgers. Gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
A gain of 15 yards. That's good for a Green Bay Packer. First and goal at the 8-yard line.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Throwing is Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers! Sammy Watkins from 8 yards out. And the Packers have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Crosby connects on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Waddle will return this from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Now Waddle on the jet sweep. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case...
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed, because let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there, because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
Rodgers now on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Jones. A lot of effort there for just a 3-yard gain, and now second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he?
And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. And give him a gain of 37.
That's a well-thrown ball right there. This is where arm strength pays off, because he's got to be able to get the ball both downfield and to the sideline. And that's one of the more difficult throws for a quarterback, and he put it right where it needed to be.
We've hit the 2-minute mark in the second quarter, 14-7. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Rodgers to throw once more. This one swung out here to Jones. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker.
And the Dolphins are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost him.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Tua to try again on second down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Now, meanwhile, they go for it on fourth down, and my goodness, incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And that will force a turnover on downs. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. And down inside the 15 he goes. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Rodgers going to throw. And he's got it. And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1.
Away and incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
Second down and goal. Rodgers. And it's a Packers touchdown. Randall Cobb as the first half is winding down. And the Packers would extend their lead here just before halftime. Crosby with the extra point, and it's now 21-7.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
These two teams going through their final adjustments. It's about time for the second half in Green Bay. So for the call, we go back up to Lambeau and Brandon Gott.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gott, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. Rodgers going to return it from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
And he is going to lose yardage here. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers. That's going to be caught downfield by Lazard. Touchdown, Packers! Allen Lazard, 37 yards. And the Packers take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Waddle will return this from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive.
And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
Here we go. Here we go. Ready?
They fake the handoff. Now Tua.
Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted.
Picked off by Darnell Savage. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on 2nd. To try again after the sack. Rodgers. Now he's going to throw it deep to the other side of the field.
Well, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Xavier Howard.
And the Dolphins are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Setting to throw on first down is Tua.
That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's another first down as they look his way again, this time 19 yards. Final minute now of the third quarter. Tua now on first down.
A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Green Bay, Wisconsin is the spot. Third quarter inside Lambeau. Glad you're with us. 2nd and 10. A handoff running left is Mostert.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here.
Got a man, it's Waddle, complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami.
Jalen Waddle, a 14-yard touchdown.
And the Dolphins have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that cuts the lead to 28-14. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
Rodgers going to return it from his end zone.
Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. He's going to get this one complete here to Cobb. And they work this right upfield across the 45. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. A throw complete to the tight end, Tunyon. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Cobb. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 25-yard line. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And the Dolphins are right back in this football game. And now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the 4th.
And in the old days, not too long gone either, throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no. But the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 11 yards for number 11. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Here's Tua. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Rodgers throwing here. Got a man, that's Lazard. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Emmanuel Ogbah that time, able to drop him for a loss.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24.
88, on the 50. Hey, you blocked.
On play action, Rodgers. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Keon Crossan. And the Dolphins are right back in this football game. Well, in all likelihood, this ball game's still over. I mean, even with the interception, 2-score game, they need a miracle.
Curious decision to even throw the ball in that situation, but maybe they saw a stacked line of scrimmage and said, hey, it's better to try and throw than to try and run against it. In any event, I think you're exactly right. Now, the other team can pad their stats, but I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah, but still, don't change the channel just yet. That's caught by Wilson. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. Tua. Eluding the pressure right. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Well, you know me, whether you need it or not, I'm going to give a little unsolicited advice. Just throw it downfield out of the pocket, only if you're absolutely sure. Otherwise, use your running ability and try and get those yards a safer way.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Now Tua. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Tua to throw. He sets to fire deep. And that one going to wind up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. Third down coming up. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. And this is caught. So it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however. Sanders now to add the extra point. He's got it, and they're back within a touchdown at 28-21. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. It's a squib kick fielded just inside the 20. A couple more minutes and maybe the outcome of this one, Charles, would have been different, but ultimately time runs out of the comeback, so it falls short, and they hold on to win this by just 1 possession.
Not the fourth quarter they wanted, but they did earn the win, and they'll be happy about that, and they should be. Now they're going to go back to practice, see what they can do to prevent a future lead from slipping away like this one was.